Good afternoon once again. Thank you. So we've come towards the end of our day today, and I want to again thank you for being here. And I hope you had a wonderful time in whichever breakout session you chose to be in. I did the paint and heal, and it was great to just sit and take a pause and paint. But as we close out right now, I'd like to call Humberto Brown, who has worked with us for so many years. And he is the Director of Health Disparities and New Constituencies Development. And so I'll call him up to just summarize and just provide closing remarks. After he's done, Faven will come back just for a brief moment, and then you can go outside and enjoy refreshments. Humberto.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to want to be here. I wasn't feeling too healthy today, but I know I had to come here. So I just saw you intentionality matters, right? And I was very pleased that in spite of a very cold day, some of us, even though we have left our tropical country for a long time, we don't stop being tropical, right? A little coldness scares us. So at first I want to thank all of you for coming to this event, showing up, because that's the first thing I want to remind us of, that it's been South Africa for a long time, the Mandela period. And even after all the hardship, the South Africans would say, it's still in our hands. I always remember that. It's still in our hands. So I start there because we're in a very difficult moment. We're in a very challenging moment. And one of the things we try to do, the work that we do, and the collective of the organization that we work with, is to create, for me, I'm an old Pan-Africanist, is to create freedom spaces. Spaces that we can analyze, think, and invent possibilities. Because I think we spend a lot of time in reaction. We spend a lot of time defending ourselves, and we don't invest enough time in spaces where we can construct alternative. So I want to say that the purpose of this event is to do what we've been trying to do for many years. Make CBOs, community organization, ordinary citizens know that we're empowered to establish agency for change. I think that's the first thing we want to acknowledge. When we talk about community engagement, it's not a slogan. It is a strategy. It is a vision that we didn't begin. It's a long legacy of oppressed people around the world. And in this country specifically, the African American and indigenous people's experience of, in spite of everything, constructing new possibilities. And we're in one of those moments. If in the area of work that we chose to honor Arthur, 33 years of his work, is his legacy as a social justice person. Is his legacy as someone that was courageous and respected, his legacy of standing up and speaking out and representing a long tradition of the river as Mississippi River is, where we come and we continue to create and move. So that in that tradition, we organize this event. And since we've been doing work in mental health for a while, we wanted to address the complexity of it. And for those of you who participated, you see we cover the multiplicity of the experience of mental health, emotional healthness, with presentation of understanding communities, and that knowledge and experience and strength is born in the communities. That there's a history of our people constructing those alternatives. Everything in mental health, even at this point, has been transformed because we demand that it transform. The DSM system, which diagnoses it, if you sit in DSM 2 or 3, to be gay, to be someone who defending yourself from police aggression was considered illness. To refuse. If you look at the DSM from there to now, that has to recognize LGBT, trans people, because it's still the legacy of we trying to overcome enslavement, colonialism, a society that exclude, invisibilize everyone else, but a white concept. And we consistently insisting that we exist, that we matter, and we need to create a society that is inclusive. And that's why we deal with health and emotional health, because it's one of those areas that impact all of us. And I think I was to work was to show you the complexity that is not diagnosis system, but each of us brings something to the room when we come in, because we know the experience of where we came from. And you have to trust that versus people telling you that it's not scientific, you didn't get it. It's about trauma, and that experience matters. We know it, and we can find the strength to address it. And that's why we believe in community engagement. That's why Arthur left his name for somebody who can do something from the ground, not an Ivy League university that just use it for other purpose. The second presentation by the sister, Dr. Rafael, is in the other part of it, psychiatry. And she covered, some of us have worked in mental health and psychiatry for a while, but it covered the complexity of it. The difference between a biological diagnosis of schizophrenia or bipolar versus just emotional issues. And what we try to do in this work is create the kind of education and knowledge for us to use as practical tools to help our community navigate this environment that systemically and structurally discriminate, exclude, treat us differently. So that was the first thing. And one thing I summarize of those two people, that some of the challenges are faced there, right? One, if you're a professional, what do you do from your professional level to what you do socially? So most of the time when you become a professional and you're in a system, you're forced to challenge that system, to question how the patient are treated, to question if those diagnoses are appropriate for that group. So you're struggling within, and you're creating a community that find the ways to develop manners to defend themselves. Because they see you in there, and they hope that you're a voice for them. They hope that Augustine used a lot of historical context. Because a good old Guyanese friend of mine, very important intellectual, was assassinated in this country, Walter Rodney, used to always say, the first science that we need to know is history. If you have the wrong history, no matter what discipline you're training, your analysis is going to be wrong. You're going to be supporting system of oppression, sexism, homophobia. So we have the history, that's why it's important. It's not just a subject. It's a matter of grounding us who we are. In the Pan-African world, we talk about the bird of Sankofa. And it's a bird that, the only bird that can fly looking backward. Because he looks of our past history, he brings it to the present, and he visions the future. And that's what the tradition of Pan-Africanism. We resist our dehumanization. We don't make people take away our right to love. Bad people go through a lot of things, oppressed people. But we don't lose the right to love. And if we're in a society today that they're even discussing how they want to re-exclude us again, it's because we have had the imagination and the creativity of constructing a new society, a new way of thinking, of feeling, of acting, and there's no way around that because it wasn't constructed for us. So that's what we try to do when we do this work, is make sure that the academic training, the different things that we're doing, we apply for community to empower themselves. That community to understand it, break it down. Tools to defend yourself, not this abstract stuff distance from you. And when you look at the work that we do with the young folks, the peer, which I'm always proud of, or part of in the beginning of that process, to see what empowerment of young people is. Because when they're empowered, as Frantz Fanon always says, there's a generation that's going to defend the future of what they inherited. They stand up. They can try to eliminate the books or intimidate them. When they're educated in their history and they know their roots, the roots of a tree are always deeper than you see the tree. It goes far away. And that's what we do with young people. I'm always proud to see them come in and secure, learn, and then probably tell us, I had to teach my mom issue about mental health. She doesn't understand it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it switched the level of confidence, of knowledge, and the application to themselves. Because as you know, adolescent and young adults is the most difficult age we all go through. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of unspoken stuff, a lot of invisibility in a society that just want you to grow up and do well, and don't stop to deal. I just saw a New York Times article just a week ago where it's worse today. The depression of the 17 years old, the level of isolation, the level of disconnect to this generation. What we try to address is empower them to be, in that tradition of Fanon, a tool of transformation. So those are the things that we try to do today, and I hope that people see it not just as a conference, an event. I don't believe in event for events. I think events is spaces where we organize, we think to move forward, always to transform, to have an imagination that things can change, right? And for those who went to the other after program that we have outside, I went to the meditation and thing. And it reminded me of something that I always say we discuss, right? Some of us work stressed out in many fields. Some of us who are political activists spend a lot of time in different places of the world and doing things. But a lot of time we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know how to meditate, how to heal. And because some of us are scared of the tradition and the religion that we come from, we think that voodoo is diabolic, and Santeria, and Candomblé, religion of the African tradition, we lost them, so we don't know how to heal. So this also was important for us, to people, to use their creativity in art, or to heal, to find a way. So when you bring it together, you see that we had a day constructing some alternative for the moment that we're in. And not just an event. And we're in a very dangerous period. Everything that we thought was stable has become unstable. Citizenship, kids who were born here, safety net at your home, how our history has been removed from libraries. We have been silent from speaking. So many colleagues in universities who have been threatened to lose their position if they speak about certain things. We are in a very difficult, an old African-American woman from Mississippi, civil rights movement. I was talking to her, she says, Humberto, we've been in this place before. She said, this is like Reconstruction. After abolition of slavery, They did everything to destroy us when they had promised us freedom, land, possibility, but we were so organized, we did so much so fast that they lynch us, imprison us, create Jim Crow society, black one place, the other place. So we've been here when we have done things and they try to destroy, and I say it in this term because everything is political. Politics is not an abstraction. If you want to know somebody's policies, you have to know their politics. This is the only country where we hide behind policy and we don't talk about politics. Any other place you go, people want to know what is your politics, you got to know what is your policy. If you're homophobic, you can't produce policies for inclusion LGBT. If you're racist, you're not going to create policy. So those two things are interrelated. And I said, people, when you look at that, then you see what is the practice come out of there. So I want to end asking you to continue in this partnership that we have with many of you. I want to ask you not to be intimidated by this moment. For the kind of work we do, I know a lot of us are feeling the pressure. The Latin Americans, I spend a lot of time in the African community, and nobody feels safe. Even when 3 people in the family are citizen or resident, we are destabilized. So this is a time for courage. This is a time to remember what is our history, where we came from, and always remember what is our legacy. We don't let them take away our right to love humanity, love ourselves. We resist and we insist in our humanity, and we always proposing a better society, a new one, a more loving one. And you shouldn't be ashamed to aspire for that. It's not crazy, it's not ultra to desire a society that's inclusive, more humane. Because we're in one of the moments that we're doing something that hasn't been done before in a long time. Most of the society now are the diversity. New York, Paris, London, are people who are formerly colonized and know we're in the same space. From the Caribbean, from Latin America, from different parts of Africa, 50 countries in Africa. And different languages. I grew up speaking 4 languages. My grandparents, Martinique, this, that. You have to find a way not to let them divide us, but know that we're creating a new citizenship that is inclusive of all. You can't exclude the new generation. You can't just leave them out. No good school, no possibility, no student help, age. We can't let them leave the LGBT and trans community as the enemy of civilization. We have to stand up now, because everything that was won before is on the block. From women's rights, who would believe in the U.S. you would have no rights of abortion in 2025? Who would believe that if you're born in the U.S., a question if you'll be citizen or not? Those are severe issues. And those are politics that create policy of dehumanization of us. So we did this today in the name of Arthur Legacy. Stand up for social justice, insist that a better world is possible, and remember that we are here because our ancestors and others insist in the same thing, and that we're not going to stop. We're going to continue pushing and keeping that imagination open, because that's our legacy. A better society is possible, one that's inclusive, with love, compassion, empathy, and peace. So I just want to end there and say, this work, and we say in Spanish, la lucha continúa in Portuguese, la lucha continúa, the struggle continues, and that we continue to do this. And no matter what space you're in, academic, community, public school, there's a space for us to do something, to resist and to keep connected, not to get isolated. Keep connected and keep seeing each other, because at the end, we're going to win. There's no way backward. We're going to win. And this generation have to be convinced about that. They're educated, they have the capacity to do it, and they should resist. Insist, resist, and then we'll be victorious. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Humberto, for putting everything into context and tying everything together. I hope that for those of you who made it through the entire day, thank you for your time, your energy. We hope that you walked away learning something, connected with someone, or at the very least ate a good meal. I just want to close out with a couple housekeeping items. One, in the afternoon session, everyone went into 3 different rooms that was focused on three different modalities, but there was one common theme of putting together a quilt. And so I just want to, can we present the quilt that everyone collectively put together? I don't know if we have 2 hands that we can. We don't have to read it, but so this, everybody was prompted to illustrate what justice looked like, what justice could look like. And so everyone took their creativity to design something. And it started with an individual vision, an individual perspective that obviously is intertwined and collected. Read off a couple things that folks said. So, freedom to envision endless possibilities, making space for the voices that go unheard. The shades of balanced, the scales are balanced. Ooh, okay. When you do what you love, you're never working a day in your life. Find your passion. Love that. All right, let me go on this side. Like the wind, I want to be free where I go. One last one. Motivation for more help in my community to create a happy environment. So these are beautiful. So this is just an illustration of what our individual dreams and visions can do as a collective. And so hopefully a year from now we can think about how we're one step closer to this vision. So thank you. Couple other housekeeping, or now we're in housekeeping items. If you are someone who is a social worker or physician, please remember, if you didn't already announce or provide your credentials, this counts as CME credits, continuing education. And so please, just as a reminder, if you haven't, please make sure that you touch base with our registration folks so that you can get credits for being here and your time. And then the third thing was everyone completed a survey. Is there anyone who didn't complete an evaluation survey who wanted to complete a survey? So we have paper ones if you couldn't engage digitally. But if not, we did promise that for those that submitted a survey, that we were going to draw 2 names that we're going to get a $150 gift card to go to the Life Wellness Center in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. And that's a local organization that provides therapeutic services. So that's massages, it's acupuncture, it's Reiki, there's the sound bath. There's lots of events and workshops. So if you didn't get a chance, too late now. We drew 2 names, so hopefully folks are here. The first name was Cheryl Marriott. Yeah! So you'll get a gift certificate for Life Wellness Center. We have your email address, but we're also going to give you a Awesome. Congratulations, Cheryl. Okay, and the second one, it's an email address, so I'm not sure. Clucario? Ah, that's you. Congratulations. You also get a $150 gift card to Life Wellness Center, and you also get the wellness box. Okay. And then the last thing is just doing some brief acknowledgments. As Kenya mentioned, this has been 5 years in the making, although the work of the Institute has been in existence for 33 years, celebrating that today. And so I want to acknowledge our leadership. Dr. Marilyn Fraser, Humberto Brown, you guys have been leaders for this organization. You guys have given us space and guidance to create, and as a result, we've been able to develop this amazing program. So I want to thank you both for your leadership. I also want to acknowledge Stacy Wright, who contributed a ton of ideas, but also her time and her effort to show up day in, day out, managing multiple responsibilities. And I think this has been a tough year for everyone. And so I just want to acknowledge you and for your commitment and dedication to our team and for always bringing new ideas to the table. So this symposium is in part because you dreamt it. So thank you. I want to thank our staff. The Institute staff, if you are part of the Institute, please stand up. So that's community engagement, that's Health Science Academy. This has been a collaborative effort. This is an anniversary event. It represents the institution as a whole, and it took the entire team to show up, to plan, to put out fires, and I think that that's a reflection of what it takes to put an event together. It's grounded in teamwork. So I want to acknowledge and thank everyone for showing up and being a part of this day in and day out. I want to thank our partners, our barbershops, our salons, our community-based organizations, our academic partners, our faith-based leaders, our CTHE members. I want to thank you all for coming from Maryland. Where's Maliva? Up there from Maryland and Queens, the different boroughs. Thank you for supporting us today and for supporting us throughout the work that we've been doing collaboratively. So thank you to our partners for showing up for us today and every day. And then I want to do a special thank you to two members of our team who, one was at the start of the program, so Kenya Kirkman, if you can stand up. And Tynesha Morris, if you can stand up. Kenya came in at the start of the program with no idea what she was getting herself into. Perhaps a little bit of resistance, a little bit of trust building, but the 5-year journey, I think, has been incredible. And I think to be able to do it with you, to witness your growth, your development, the ideas, the creativity, the level of commitment, the late days, the nights, including last night. I want to thank you for being deeply committed to this work. Tynesha came in 2.5 years ago, also blindsided. That's like what we do at the Institute. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into until you show up. And Tynesha came in at the height of our work. I think one of the first events was traveling to DC to work with 150 youth. And Tynesha came in, like, ready to support, hands down, and that's the role that she's played day in and day out. So I just want to do a special thank you for the work that you guys do. This has been the largest program with the largest reach and the quickest growing program that we've had in our portfolio for a while, and it's in part because of these two and the supportive staff that have been a part. So I want to say thank you, and do it with flowers. I'm also a magician. So thank you, Kenya, Tynesha, and our team, our partners, and for everyone that came in on a cold, very cold, not snowy day. So thank you, everyone. No.
We also can say Mariah a hand of applause as well. When I started 5 years ago, yeah, we've come a long way. But tremendously, just want to thank you for your leadership, your support over the years. So this is half yours, this is mine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kenya. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We're going to celebrate in community now in the atrium where we had lunch, but there will be desserts and some snacks so we can indulge in some fellowship. Thank you, everyone. Oh, wait, one more. I forgot. I even wrote it down. This work is hard. And you guys know that the political climate has affected our funding. And so if you're able to support individually or can get us connected to organizations, funders, please use this QR code to support our work. Thank you.